Welcome to this video on the biology of a breach, how burnout became cybersecurity's invisible threat. In this session, we aren't just looking at software, we're looking at the biology of the breach. Our objectives are fourfold. Objective 1, the fatigue link. First, we'll analyze the direct correlation between workplace burnout and decision fatigue, uncovering why these mental states contribute to the 88% of data breaches caused by human error. Objective 2, the danger zone. Next, we'll identify the danger zone, that window between 2 p.m. and 6 p.m., when the brain's analytical power fades and System 1 Autopilot takes over, making us prime targets for social engineering. Objective 3, the Amnesty Protocol. Third, we'll introduce the Amnesty Protocol. We're shifting from a culture of blame to a culture of reporting, because speed is the only way to limit damage once a mistake is made. Objective 4, the neurohack. Finally, we'll master a high-performance neurohack. You'll learn how to use box breathing to physically lower your cortisol levels, instantly re-engaging your logical mind before you click that high-pressure link. We need to start with an uncomfortable truth. We spend millions building digital fortresses. We buy the best firewalls and the strongest encryption. We assume the technology will save us, but the data tells a different story. Stanford University found that 88% of data breaches aren't caused by weak technology. They are caused by human error. Now, before we judge, we have to understand why. This isn't because employees are incompetent, it's because they are exhausted. The World Health Organization recognizes burnout as a legitimate occupational phenomenon. To understand why we click on malicious links, we have to stop looking at the screen and start looking at the neurobiology of the tired brain. Let's look at the biology behind the click. Inside your head, you have a CEO, the prefrontal cortex. Its only job is to use logic to keep you safe. But here is the science. That CEO runs on a battery. Every single decision you make during the day drains a little bit of power. By 4 p.m., you hit what we call cognitive bankruptcy. You aren't bad at your job. You are just biologically empty. And that is exactly when attackers strike. So what happens when that battery dies? We fall into the autopilot trap. Psychologist Daniel Kahneman explains that our brain has two modes. System 2 is slow and logical. It's the part that catches a scam, but it burns energy. When we are exhausted, the brain conserves power by shutting System 2 down and defaulting to System 1. This is fast, emotional instinct. Attackers know this. They don't try to outsmart you when you are fresh. They wait for 5 p.m. when you are on autopilot, knowing a phishing email won't trigger your logic. It will trigger your reflexes. This vulnerability isn't random, it's scheduled. We call it the danger zone. Between 2 p.m. and 6 p.m., our natural circadian rhythms cause alertness to drop. For a healthy brain, this is a slump. For a burnt-out employee, it is a total cognitive collapse, zero visibility. The data confirms this. Nearly half of all errors are driven by fatigue, leading to a rise in what we call Friday afternoon fraud. Attackers intentionally time their campaigns to hit exactly when our biological shields are down. Biology creates the vulnerability, but culture seals our fate. If we use shame as a deterrent, we build a culture of silence. If I click a link and I'm afraid of being fired, I won't tell you. That silence gives the attacker hours or days to destroy our network. We need an Amnesty Protocol. The immediate response to a report shouldn't be, "Why did you do that?" It must be, "Thank you." When leaders share their own mistakes and remove the fear of judgment, we turn our culture into a human firewall. Look, we can't just tell you to pay more attention when you're exhausted. When you're in the red, you can't just think harder. You have to hack your biology. Think of these as your two primary security protocols. First is box breathing. When you see a suspicious alert and your heart starts to race, your body is entering fight or flight mode. That's when you're most likely to make a mistake. To override this, use the 4-4-4-4 pattern. Think of it as a square. You just breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it for 4, exhale for 4, and then pause for a final 4 before your next breath. It's a literal reset button for your nervous system. This isn't just a relaxation trick. It's a biological command that flushes out cortisol and physically forces your logical brain to turn back on. Next is the STOP method. Hackers thrive on false urgency. They want you moving too fast to think. So the moment you feel that rush of panic, physically take your hand off the mouse and just stop what you're doing. Take a breath. Observe the situation and that feeling of pressure for exactly what it is. Then, proceed only once the dust has settled. Trust me, if it's a real emergency, it can wait 10 seconds for you to get your logic back online. Remember, these aren't just wellness tips. They are security protocols for the human brain. Use them to stay in control. In conclusion, we need to remember one thing. We are not defective machines. We are humans operating within biological limits. Recognizing that our brains have a battery life isn't an excuse for errors. It is a mandate for empathy. We physically cannot be on high alert 24/7, and we need to stop pretending we can. Ultimately, you can buy the most expensive firewalls in the world, but they won't save you if your culture is broken. The strongest firewall isn't software. It is a resilient team that feels safe enough to say I'm tired, and supported enough to ask for help. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, please like the video, share it with your colleagues, and drop any questions in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss our upcoming content.